with injuries throughout camp, which is one of the reasons, Flacco kind of got the gig, because they didn't really see what they needed to see from any of those other guys due to the time that they missed. So I think the Browns coaching staff is just going to take these next couple of weeks before the start of the season to get these guys as many reps as they can, see where things stand, and then figure out who they're comfortable with as the backup in case something were to happen to Flacco. And then from then on, it's week to week. Now, are they going to be able to carry 4 quarterbacks? Big question. Stefanski has said it's going to be tough. If they don't, is somebody injured enough to go on injured reserve to start the season? Would there be interest in a trade for one of those other guys? Those are questions they have to answer as well. But if they have all 4 and all 4 are healthy, they got to figure out who's 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, I think they definitely got to figure that out. I think we all agree that Joe Flacco was going to be the week 1 starter. I think Kenny Pickett maybe was insurance early on until you saw what you had in Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. But now that we've kind of seen a little bit with Dillon Gabriel looking really good, being very accurate, and Shedeur Sanders looking like he's got that it factor, I think the odd man out is going to be Kenny Pickett. Nothing against 2 gloves, because I like wearing 2 gloves when it gets cold. But I don't need my quarterback wearing 2 gloves. I'm done with Kenny Pickett. I've seen enough, RC. I think as the Browns move forward, Joe Flacco is going to be given a lot of room early on. But I think eventually we're going to see both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders at some point this season start some games. Kenny Pickett, I love you, buddy. You can take the gloves elsewhere.
Well, according to Boog, the only 2 gloves we acknowledge is Teddy Bridgewater. But now let's get to the boots, where the Saints QB1 spot is still up for grabs. But according to head coach Kellen Moore, it's an extremely tight race.
It's really, really close. Numbers, experiences, reps, everything. It's going all the way back to start of training camp. Everything is very, very close between this group. And so we're kind of staying in this middle. And, obviously you'd like for it to make a decision, and we'll get there as we go. But, I think both these guys are putting in tremendous effort, tremendous work. They're both doing a ton of good things. And so we'll see how it goes.
Lewis, you've been high on Tyler Sharpe the entire offseason, and I ain't gonna lie, that bus you were driving, I was sitting right behind you singing his praises. But have you liked what you've seen from him in the preseason?
Yeah, he's had some good moments, Ryan. I mean, have they been perfect? Absolutely not. Can you expect it to be perfect? Should you expect it to be perfect? No, but that's the world we live in, especially when you're dealing with a tightly contested quarterback race like that. Everything that he doesn't do good is going to be magnified. Look, he showed in the first preseason game against the LA Chargers, coming in a 2-minute situation, that he has good command of this offense at an early age. And it really, well, I should say at an early time in his development here with the Saints. He had a pick 6. Kellen Moore came right back and had him continue to fire the football, hit a double move for a big play, scored, and then they really liked his resilience. Look, and then really in the second preseason game, it was just the opposite. Spencer Rattler had a pick 6, came back and made some absolute laser throws in order for them to kind of get back in that football game. So I can see why they're saying that this is tightly contested. I think this third preseason game will tell the tale.
I think that's exactly what it is, Lou. It's the coaching staff does not feel that it's seen enough separation between these two to make a decision, and they're hoping that this week of practice and the preseason game will help inform it. Spencer Rattler has made it difficult on them. Tyler Sharpe was the 40th pick in the draft for a new coaching staff. So everybody figured, well, that made, once Derek Carr retired, that made Sharpe the favorite to start. But Rattler had a very strong offseason. He's had a very strong training camp. He has fans in that building, and there are people there that are interested in seeing what he can do. He's got 1 year of experience on Tyler Sharpe, and I don't think at this point it would be a total surprise to see the Saints go with Spencer Rattler to start the season. If that's what they do, it's because he won what so far, I think you can take Kellen Moore at his word, has been a very even competition.
Yeah, and I think we can't let people look at Tyler Sharpe as the traditional rookie, right? This is a guy that had extensive time in college, and so he and Spencer Rattler are close in age. Spencer Rattler was a guy, a 5-star prospect. He was thought to be a first overall pick or first-round pick before he had to leave Oklahoma. So he has a ton of talent, and we're starting to see some of those things. So Kellen Moore has a big decision.
Back of the future. Now his tenure may be over with the Colts, according to his agent. Did the Colts make the right decision giving Jones the nod over Anthony Richardson?
I think you have to drill down just a little bit deeper and ask, did Shane Steichen, the head coach, make the right decision? And I think he did, because it's a decision that's going to affect his future, because he's in a situation now Brian, that he has to win. And so he's asking himself, which quarterback gives me an opportunity to win? It's not his job right now to develop the quarterback of the future because he's been given a mandate to win this season. And I think he knows that. And he looked at both quarterbacks during training camp, and he said Daniel Jones gives him the best opportunity to win. It gives him and his family the best opportunity to keep these kids in private school and drive that new Mercedes. You know how I go, B. Custer. You got to provide for your family. And I think if you're Shane Steichen, you made the best decision for you. Now, it may not have been the best decision for Anthony Richardson because everyone knows he hasn't played a ton of football. He needs to develop. They knew that when they drafted him out of the University of Florida. I think Shane Steichen has seen development and improvement. It's just not been enough to play this year in a year where this organization, Chris Ballard, the GM, Shane Steichen, the head coach, they got to win this year, and he's hitching his wagon to Daniel Jones, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, you know, you kind of got a feeling that the writing was on the wall, especially at the beginning of the season when they gave Daniel Jones $14 million this season, and usually that's not backup money. All right, let's stick in the AFC South. And the Titans rookie quarterback Cam Ward spoke earlier today on the team's rhythm heading into the season. It's new here on SportsCenter.
I think it's real important in terms of us just playing at a high level and making drives count, whether it's with 6 or 3 points. And then just also getting guys excited to play football, having excitement on the sideline, getting the guys their touches on the field, then at the end of the day, it's playing together. I think a lot of points can come from teams playing together, not playing selfish football. And, you know, I'm just glad that we have one of those teams who play together.
Cam Ward talking about his squad. But what do you think Titans ceiling behind Cam Ward?
I think it would be a little bit presumptuous to say they're going to be a playoff team, but I do think they're going to be much improved. I just love Cam Ward because I love every time he talks because he seems like to me he's a force multiplier because everybody that comes in contact with him said he raises their level. He raises their level of preparation, their level of commitment, their level of being able to show up and being ready to play. I think he's going to bring something that they hadn't had in a long time at the quarterback position. That's consistency. And I know what he did at Incarnate Word. I know what he did at Washington State, and we saw what he did at the University of Miami. I think it's only going to be better and better. And with the Tennessee Titans, I think they're in for a real treat because they found their quarterback of the future. And it may not look like it early on, but I think in a couple years, they'll see the big dividends with Cam Ward. I just love everything about this young man.
You hear what Boog talking about and what he did at all those stops. He won. And for the Titans, listen, Boog, they can only go up. They've missed the playoffs the last 3 seasons. They finished last in their division the past 2 seasons. They may have something now in Cam Ward. Boog, we'll see you back here